Guys, I had a 12 centimeter cyst in my stomach and I had no clue. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Today is a completely different kind of video and one that I would have never thought I would have been sharing or talking about, but I definitely wanted to share what I've been going through with you guys. Just so that you kind of know what I've been going through, and also for anyone who has been feeling unwell recently and has kind of been told that what they're feeling is normal, or they should just accept it, or they should just ignore it. This is your sign to really get it looked at. Try and investigate and find out what the problem is, just to avoid any problems. So let's get straight into the video. So you guys already know I'm not the kind of person to share, like, I don't usually share when I'm unwell, when the kids are unwell, anything's happening, unless like it affects my work, which this is, and after we've kind of dealt with it. So I am actually 2 days post surgery, so I thought now was the best time to share what's been going on. I'm going to try and do a simple face to get ready for the day. I'm really not good at multitasking, so please just bear with me. So on my lips right now, I've just put the Clarins lip oil in shade Honey. I set my face with my Primark Prep and Perfect cream, which I love, before I do my brows. I'm going to use my e.l.f. Power Grip primer. Let's get started. So first things first, you guys would remember at some point last year I shared with you, well, on my Instagram, that I started feeling nauseous and struggling with acid reflux. I only experienced nausea with my pregnancies, but other than that I've never really had these symptoms. I'm just going to add my brow gel, which is actually from Shein. This is really good. And I feel like it was only like £3 or £2. I do need to wash my eyebrow brush though, so please don't watch that. So I was feeling this nausea symptoms from, I would say, about July last year. July last year. I just started feeling nauseous all the time, and I started having, acid reflux. So of course I just kept thinking I was pregnant. So I was always taking tests, like just checking, am I pregnant? Because it's not the plan. Like, I don't plan on having any more children. But I just kept having these symptoms, thinking, oh my gosh, am I pregnant? Of course the test was always negative. So I didn't know what was going on. At that time, I should have been feeling the best. I had been losing weight. I had been working out. I had changed my diet, changed my lifestyle. But I was having these symptoms every day. And when I tell you guys, there were times that I was feeling nauseous all day, every day. Now, trying to get on with your daily tasks with 2 toddlers whilst feeling sick was extremely hard. I'm going to use my Makeup by Mario foundation. It was so hard, guys. It was so hard. Something was wrong. And of course, the first people you would consult is your GP. So I consulted my GP and kind of told them all the symptoms that I was having, and that I was feeling nauseous and sick all the time, especially when I would after my meals, or if I ate after like 6 o'clock and things like that. Long story cut short, I contacted my GP a few times, and all they did was prescribe me acid reflux tablets and tablets for an anti-sickness when it got really bad. So they really weren't going to investigate anything. So I kept going back, and I also went to A&E a couple of times to try and see if I can go that way. Because sometimes when you go A&E, I feel like they take you more seriously. And there were times that I was feeling so sick that I honestly couldn't deal with the day. But again, the GP weren't going to do anything about it. It was hard, guys. It was hard. I couldn't eat past a certain time. I was feeling sick all the time. Sometimes if I ate my dinner at like 7:30, I couldn't sleep. I would have to just sitting up on my bed, because if I would lay down, I'd feel so sick, or the food would just be stuck in my throat. Well, you guys already know, like, I don't vomit or anything. I hardly vomit, but I vomited and all of that kind of stuff. It was awful. So this continued for months. I obviously just started praying about it, because I was like, what is wrong, Lord? Heal me. I was just asking God to heal me, take away these symptoms of what I was feeling. But nothing was helping. Nothing was helping. I was still feeling the same. It was awful. By the way, guys, it's really hot. I've had to shut my windows because everyone outside is deciding to do work to their garden or in the front of their house because it's hot today. So I'm going to try and do this quickly. So honestly, guys, it was awful. Just imagine having these symptoms all the time. Even on my anniversary party, even on holiday, every single day I was feeling sick, nauseous all the time. So I was still having my meals, so I was still eating, but I had to have like small meals a few more times in a day and finish eating by a certain time. The GP would say I have to change my lifestyle, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I've already changed my lifestyle. I'm healthy, like I'm good and I'm active, I'm healthy. I shouldn't be feeling these symptoms. And all they would advise, oh, you just got to change your lifestyle. It's just something you've got to get used to. And I remember calling the GP and I was trying to get another appointment. And then, I was speaking to the lady on the phone, the receptionist, and she was like, I know it's something that you've been struggling with, you want to deal with, but speaking from experience, because she has acid reflux and all nausea and all of that. And she was like, it's just something I've had to live with for 7 years. I was like, you've been living with this for 7 years? And I was like, I'm so sorry, but I'm not living with this for 7 years. I'm not accepting this. Like, something is wrong. And I'm not just going to accept it and say, oh, yeah, I'm having acid reflux. I'm having nausea every day and it's normal. Something is clearly wrong. Coming from someone who's never unwell, who's never had any health issues, any problems, something is wrong. So I just left the GP and I was like, do you know what? We're just going to go through private health insurance. So my husband signed up for health and dental insurance for all of us, for us and the kids, and I booked an appointment straight away. Guys, this is the beginning of everything. First of all, I don't know why we took so long to sign up to private health insurance. Everyone should do it. And he just pays monthly and it just covers all of us. But we'll talk about that at another point. So booked an appointment now. As soon as I went in to see the doctor, also you have doctors to choose from. You can literally go through their finder, search the specialist you want to see, the specialist, the surgeon in the field that basically they're in. And I went to go see him. The first day that I went to go see him, I told him all of my symptoms, and he was literally like, we're going to investigate this. He was like, right, we're going to book you in for bloods. We're going to book you in for ultrasound. We're going to book you a camera to go into your stomach. We want to test your stools. We want to test everything. I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is all I wanted the GP to do. I just wanted them to investigate because something is wrong. That same week, they're so fantastic. The same week they did that, the only thing they held off on at that time was the camera, because they had already had the ultrasound. Went and had my ultrasound. And ultrasound obviously is like a scan, when you're pregnant. And I've had scans before, and you guys already know, like I usually do like yearly checks just to see how everything is going down there. And even that, a few months before I started feeling sick, I actually had like that yearly thing that I do, my yearly MOT, just to check how everything's doing. I check my bloods, I check my pelvic, I check my uterus, I check everything. And they said to me they didn't see anything there. The only thing they saw was some fluid, which will probably go, and which wasn't anything to worry about. So I completely forgot that I even had that, because I just got in my head, he just said it's all good. So I even forgot that I had that. Anyway, so I went to have my scan now. So when he's scanning me, he's asking me to go on one side. I'm like, okay, cool. He's asking me to lean on one side. I'm leaning on one side. And he's like pressing harder. So basically my arm was up and he's basically on this side, like rubbing the thing. And I'm like, cool. I honestly don't think anything. I'm just thinking that he's really, really checking. Like, he's really, really checking. He wants to make sure that everything is cool. So after that, he said to me that your surgeon, the doctor, the surgeon, will get back to you with an update of basically like feedback. And I was like, can you not tell me now? Like, I can't just wait, because obviously there's an update you have to give me. I don't know if it's positive, I don't know if it's negative. And I was like, then he was like, yeah, he'll get back to you. And I was like, was there anything there? Did you see anything? Because obviously I understood that I've got to just wait till the next day. And I was like, did you see anything? I just wanted to know if there was anything there. And he basically said, yeah, it looks like there's some fluid and possibly a cyst. I was like, cyst? I was just shocked. I couldn't believe it. Cyst, I was like, okay, cool. As women, and sometimes after pregnancies and after you have babies, or even before, sometimes we have like random cysts here and there, like in our uterus, they're really small and stuff like that. So at first I was just like, oh, it's probably nothing then. It's probably one of those, because I've had like 1 or 2 of them before and they've just disappeared. So I was like, okay, cool. Must be nothing. And then he was like, the surgeon's going to call you tomorrow. So I was like, cool. The specialist is going to call you tomorrow. He called me the next morning, and I remember I was in the living room with the kids. and the doctor called me, and he was like, "Can you talk now?" So I was like, "Cool, I just left the kids." And he was like, "So I've just got a little bit of feedback from yesterday, from your appointment that you had yesterday. Um, by the way, guys, I'm literally just doing a simple face, so I'm not going to do all the highlighting that I would usually do. You know, just giving you a little bit of feedback about yesterday. So during the ultrasound, the sonographer saw a cyst and some fluid in your stomach. I've just added Juvia's Place concealer in shade 11 because it's just too light for a basic face today. And when he said cyst, like when he said to me he found a cyst, and then he said it looks like it's measuring around 7 centimeters, and it will need to be removed. So automatically, you know, when you think of cyst, you think of tumor, you think of cancer, all of those things came to my head. And obviously it was like a little bit like PTSD when my husband had his tumor years ago. So I was really shocked, and he was like, you know, we need to get you in for an MRI scan because we need to double check that it's benign, that it's not cancerous, and it's not something that's spreading or it's growing. We really need to look at it and also measure it properly, because even though he was saying 17 centimeters, it's probably bigger because it's not an accurate scan. An ultrasound is not an accurate scan. You need to have the MRI. So immediately, I'm not gonna lie, I immediately thought the kids. I'm not gonna lie, like at first I thought about the kids. You just, you know, immediately I was like, cyst, a tumor, is it cancer? Is it just a shock? Because I really didn't think anything was wrong. I mean, I knew something was wrong, but I didn't think it was going to be anything like that. And then he was like, you're going to have surgery to remove it. I was just blown away. So I remember phoning my sister, I remember speaking to my friends, and they were like, Desreen, it's fine. And I was like, obviously I know it's fine, but I was just feeling in that moment because it was just such a shock. I had no idea. And he was like, the reason why you're having these symptoms of nausea and acid reflux is because where the cyst is, it's pressing onto your stomach, like it's pushing your stomach, and the cyst is actually sitting on your spleen. I was like, oh my gosh. Couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Then I was like, okay, cool. Let's book this in for MRI. So the MRI again was the same, was literally that week. So like I said, guys, privately, everything is just moving so fast. This was in a space of a whole week. They were able to find out what the problem is. The problem that I've been facing all the time, they were able to find out what the problem was. So they booked me for an MRI scan, which, you know, I've never done an MRI scan. So I was a little bit nervous, you know, I had to fast. I couldn't eat. I couldn't do certain things. I had to, like, you know, it was a proper scan. I had to go lie down and they had to scan my body. You know, it's the first time I did one of those scans. And then after that, I had to wait until the next day. And again, I was just like, oh, I have to wait a whole day to find out the news. But of course, I was just praying that everything is well. Everything is well in Jesus' name. I was just trying to be positive. And, you know, I do like to say I am quite a positive person. You know, I have faith in God, and every single time there has been challenges in life and I've trusted in him, he has showed up. Even if I've had to go through certain things, he's always showed up. So I trusted that all was going to be okay. I'm going to use my Makeup by Mitchell curve case that my sister-in-law got me. I would usually use a darker contour, but because it's just a basic face, I'm just going to use this one. So yeah, so he called me the next day and he was like, so the first thing I was like, hi doctor, is that good? And I was like, so is it cancer? Literally, that was the straight thing I asked. Like the first thing I asked, I was like, is it cancer? Can you just tell me if it's that? So he said, confirmed it's a cyst. The cyst is benign, but the cyst is 12 centimeters. Guys, I had a 12 centimeter cyst in my stomach and I had no clue. 12 centimeters. Do you know how big that is? Do you know how big 12 centimeters is? Like when I think of a ruler, 30 centimeters, and I think half of that is 15. I had a 12 centimeter cyst in my... Honestly, I was so shocked. I couldn't believe it. But at the same time, I was glad that we finally knew why I was feeling this. And then he was like, you know, the discomfort that you're in, like I can't imagine what you're feeling. I was like, every single day I've been struggling with this for months. And then my next question was, how did it come? Like, how does it happen? Like, how do you get cysts of this size? How long has it been there for? I was so concerned. Anyway, that's for another day. But he basically said, you know, cysts, they just grow. Sometimes you get fluid in your stomach that just come. He said these kind of cysts usually come through trauma, and that one I couldn't really understand. He said there's two ways that usually come. One is through if you are someone that lives like in the farm or those kind of places, and the other is due to trauma. And I was like, what kind of trauma? Do you mean on the body, physically, mentally, emotionally? Like, what do you mean? And he was like, some kind of trauma. I said, I haven't gone through any trauma. What do you mean? And then I thought to myself, was it that I had 2 C-sections, you know, back to back? Or was it, you know, I don't know. That's the only trauma I could think of, especially to my body, is having 2 C-sections 18 months apart. I don't know. And obviously having 2 C-sections was not easy. Anyway, so because the doctor that I saw specialized in the gastro side of stuff, he wasn't a specialist that removes cysts, so I had to change the consultant or the surgeon that I was seeing. Again, through our private health insurance, I was able to choose where else I was going to go. So I found another doctor that specialized, a surgeon that specialized in removing cysts. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of eyeshadow for my Juvia's Paste palette. I'm just going to add the brown, the only brown color that you guys can see that I use a lot, just on my eyelids, and add some mascara and eyeliner. Anyway, so contacted him, and no, sorry, the first one that I saw, this one was in Mayfair. So this was a private clinic in Mayfair where I was going to get the cyst removed. So this surgeon now, I really, really liked him. Honestly, he was a very nice Asian older man, very, very nice, very, very gentle, very kind. So I was really happy for him to do my surgery. Also to mention, guys, I said to you that after my second pregnancy, I realized that I have hernias, and he also confirmed that I have 2 hernias and diastasis recti. So after looking at the scan and looking at my stomach, he said that he was going to perform the surgery to remove the cyst and sort out the hernias and the diastasis recti all at once. And I was obviously like, cool, let's do it. And that was all going to be done through the insurance. But then I was all thinking that everything was going all well. And then he said to me, Desreen, because the cyst is on your spleen, we have to remove your spleen. At this point, I didn't even know. I was just like, sorry, I'm going to use Makeup by Mitchell's new highlights. And I've seen some people use this. It's the first time I'm using it. So these are the shades, really, really light. No, I'm not going to use this today because this is really light and I don't want that full coverage. I just want the natural look. I'm just going to use my one size. So when he said that, I was like, is there any way that you could do this without removing my spleen? You know, I'm 32 years old. I have 2 toddlers who will come home with bacteria, with illnesses. They're going to get sick, and I don't want to always be worried about, you know, having a weaker immune system, because basically without your spleen, your immune system is compromised. So I'm likely to catch infections, and my immune system basically won't be as strong as it is now. You can live without your spleen. It just means that, yeah, my immune system won't be as it is now. And I just didn't want that. I didn't want that. I just wanted to function as I normally was. And yeah, there's just something about moving spleen I was just not keen on at all. And I think that was what made me the most upset, because I really didn't want to remove my spleen. Anyway, so that's what he said. And I was like, I don't think so. Like, no, I don't want to. So at that point, you know, I had to take matters into my own hands, and I said to him, I'm going to go get a second opinion. First of all, if you are a paying customer, because, you know, when you're paying insurance, you're paying, and also when it's your body, you have a right to get a second opinion. And I am that kind of person. I'm a strong believer. It's not just yes, yes, yes. If you say this, then yes, it's going to go. I want to try, you know, and find the best option that is best for me. Is there any way around this? Can we make this work without losing my spleen? So I found another surgeon who specializes in removing cysts, sorting out hernias, and doing all of that, basically, all of that kind of stuff. Even on my mind, I was just focused on the cyst. So met with him and he looked at the scans, he looked at the notes, all that jazz. And he basically said the same thing. Because the cyst is on the spleen, we're gonna have to remove the spleen and the cyst. I was so gutted. I was just lying there like, God, please, please, please. I don't want to lose my spleen. Like, I just don't want to. And if you know me already, I don't like being sick. I don't like being unwell. I don't like being sick. And just the thought of having a compromised immune system was not settling. I couldn't settle with that. Like, it wasn't sitting well with me, and I knew this would bother me long term. I knew 100% it would really affect me. After that appointment, he also agreed and said that, you know what, we're going to have to remove the spleen. So after the appointment, I went in the car and I was just like, I just prayed. I was like, do you know what, God? At this point, I just have to trust in you, because there's nothing else that I could say. This is the way that they want to do things. But I pray, Lord, I pray that we're able to just remove the cyst and get it over and done with. So long story cut short, he said he's going to call me the next day to talk me through, like, just to confirm everything, to get some dates in for the surgery, blah, blah, blah. At this point, although that's what the doctor said, I had faith at some point that things were going to go in my favor. Faith is to believe without seeing. Faith is to believe before seeing any answer, before seeing any results, before seeing anything that you think is going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Faith is believing without seeing. It's the assurance of things that you hope for. And I just knew that something would work. Like, I just knew that it would work out. It would all work out. I didn't know how, because they had both told me they need to move my spleen, but I just trusted that something would work out. So he called me the next day and he said, you know, Desreen, we've got a date for you. It's going to be the 4th of May. Cool. It just meant that we had to change things around. But I was like, you know what, this is the priority, because I wanted to go away by 4th of May and stuff like that. But I was like, listen, to not feel like this anymore is like my priority, because I am tired of feeling sick. At this point, though, I wasn't feeling sick every day like I used to. God really had been working already. So I was praying every day for God to heal me. And at that point, I wasn't feeling as sick as I was feeling. It wasn't an everyday thing. It would just come and go for a couple of hours. And some days it would come, some days it wasn't. But before, it was every day. It was so bad that at times I had to take anti-sickness tablets because I was feeling so sick. Whew. So he was like, hi, Desreen, I've spoken to two radiologists and we've looked at your scans and we are going to give it a go. We are going to try and keep your spleen. I know how much you said you wanted to keep your spleen, so we really want to try and do that for you. When he said that, I was like, thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord. He was like, we're just going to try and move the spleen. But because the cyst is so big, it's 12 centimeters, it's very large, and it's sitting on, like, it's attached to the spleen. If anything happens, we will have to remove the spleen. I was like, listen, you've said to me, you believe that you could do it. I believe you can do it. So all went ahead. Fast forward, surgery day came, and I'm not going to lie, again, I was positive, staying positive, but other than having my 2 C-sections, I haven't had surgery before. This was my first actual surgery. I haven't broken anything. I haven't had to go to the hospital to any other surgeries before, so this is my first, so I was a little bit nervous. And the main reason why I was nervous, it was because as doctors and surgeons, they always have to tell you, you know, if anything goes wrong, then we're going to do this. And he did remind me again and again that, you know, if anything happens, then we will have to remove your spleen. Also, we were going to have a keyhole surgery, so they were going to remove the cyst laparoscopically. I think that's how you say it. He also said if something goes wrong that way, then we may also have to cut open your stomach and do it that way. So there were 2 risks. So at that point, I was like, Lord, I need you to come through. I need you to come through. So the day of the surgery came, the boys were at my sister's house, and you know what, the night before we just went out to eat, and we just tried to just have like a chilled evening, not to like be at home and think about the next day and stuff like that. But I was feeling positive. Went in, and guys, the hospital was just fantastic. Honestly, going private, guys, was the best thing ever. The service, the room, everything. So we got there, brought into my room, met the staff, the surgeon. I saw the surgeon, I saw the anesthesiast, I don't think that's what they call them, the one that's going to put me to sleep, another doctor that was going to be there. They all introduced themselves to me. They reminded me that what they were going to do, that they're going to remove the cyst, blah, blah, blah. Said bye to James. Surgery happened. Was lying in the bed. I was like, oh my Lord, like, this is something new. I've never experienced this before. Like, it was a little bit scary. And guys, you know I love Grey's Anatomy. So I know about the spleen. I know about all these kind of things. And I see them, you know, doing surgeries all the time. But I was really nervous at that point because it was just so, yeah, small room. It's just us four. I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. But again, I was just praying that God be with me. And it was so lovely because the whole church was praying for me as well. My friends and family were praying for me. Everyone was just sending their prayers, which is just, I appreciate that so, so much. And I knew God was going to come through. So put the mask on me, said you're going to take 5 deep breaths slowly and then you're going to fall asleep. And then literally, guys, I was out. I was out cold. I wish I could have something like that at bedtime, boy. Out cold. And literally, it felt like I had a 20-minute nap. I woke up and I was drowsy, slightly drowsy. I woke up and I saw the nice lady that was there with me. And she was like, hi, Desreen, everything went well. And I was just like, and I just said to them, my spleen, my spleen. Like, that was the first thing I asked, like, my spleen, my spleen. And she was like, don't worry, we didn't move your spleen. The cyst was removed. Everything went well. I just laid my head back. I was just like, praising God, like, in my head, because I couldn't speak. I was just so drowsy. Looked at my stomach and saw the 3 incisions that they made, which was obviously covered up. And I was just like, thank you, Lord, this is over. And it was over just like that. And I couldn't believe it. I can't believe I just had surgery to remove a cyst from my stomach. So then I went back to my room to stay there to recover, for them to monitor me for 8 hours. And the surgeon came back again. So I saw the surgeon 3 times. He came back to see me again 2 more times. And he said to me, Desreen, the surgery went exceptionally well. It was like textbook. It was fantastic. It went well. I'm so happy that this is out, so you will no longer feel the symptoms. And honestly, I didn't feel the symptoms from then. Although I did feel nauseous from the surgery, which is normal, I wasn't having the same symptoms that I have, like, at my throat, like right there. And then he said to me, Desreen, we drained 1 litre of fluid from the cyst. 1 litre of fluid from the cyst. I said, 1 litre? Where's my bottle? You see this bottle? These bottles of water that I drink all the time. This is 2 litres. 1 litre of fluid. I could not believe it. Like, I was in shock. And he was like, yeah, that's how big it was. That's what you had in your stomach. And I was like, all this discomfort, all of this pain, all of this agonizing, oh, it's over. And he was like, it's done now, so you just have to focus on recovering. And at that point, I was just so happy. I was so thankful. I was so thankful. I just put my foot down and I just kept saying something is wrong, and I dug it deeper and I investigated it. We found out the problem, and, you know, we've dealt with it. So yeah, that's what's been going on. And I shared with you guys briefly on the weekend that I was recovering, and yeah, I was recovering from keyhole surgery, which I had to remove a large cyst that I had in my stomach. And honestly, I'm so glad this chapter is closed, because, you know, when you're just someone who looks after themselves, who's so fit, who's so active, who's always busy, who's always out and about, who's always busy doing things with the kids, feeling like this can really set you back sometimes. And I feel like even with my work, there's been so much more that I've been wanting to do with the kids and my family and stuff. There's been so much more that I want to do, but I couldn't, because I just felt like this was just restricting me. This constant feeling of sickness was just constantly bothering me. And also, it wasn't even just constant feelings of sickness, it was the stomach aches, the stomach cramps, the bloating, all of that. Like, it was just so horrible. So I'm so glad that it's over. And yeah, just so now I'm on the road to recovery. I have been resting for the last 2 days. My family came over the next day. No, the same, is it the same day? The next day my family came over. James's parents came over. It's been really nice just to have people over, just to be there for me, to help me, to support me, because the first few days were really hard. And then I started my period the following day, which is the worst thing that could have happened. Started my period whilst I was recovering. Then sore throat, which I'm overcoming now. it has been a hard, like rough 3 days. Even today, the sore throat is still there, but it's getting better. I also feel like I have an earache. Everything has been happening, so I really don't feel my best at all. But you know, when you've been feeling something for so long, at this point, I'm like, listen, the cyst is gone. That's the most important thing. So let me just deal with these symptoms that will eventually go. And I just want to thank those who messaged me when I shared on my stories that I'm just recovering at the moment, and I'll share an update with you guys soon. So many of you guys sent me lovely messages, and I really, really appreciate it. That's what's been going on. So yeah, that was a little bit of an update. That's what's been going on. That's why I've been a little bit quiet on here, and probably will be for the next few days until my staycation. We have a staycation coming up, which of course you guys are coming along with us, and holiday coming. And now I need to have some time to just relax, because it's been very tough since last year. It's been tough having to deal with this, and even when I got my surgery date, I had to wait 2 months. So it was 2 more months of knowing that I just have to deal with this until the day. So I'm glad that it's over. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your lovely messages. And I'm basically back. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. If you guys got any questions, then let me know. I will leave a little bit more details about what surgery it is that I had and all that kind of stuff in the description. But like I said before I go, this is just for anyone who has not been feeling their best, who hasn't been feeling themselves, and they know their body and know that something is wrong. They're just telling you just to deal with it, or everything is fine, or there's nothing to worry about, or just giving you pills and telling you something to just deal with. Get it investigated. At least if you've got it investigated, then you know that what they're saying is true. But if you haven't, definitely get it looked at. I would not have known that I had a huge 12-centimeter cyst in my stomach. I would not have known, and I don't know how quick it would have grown. And they even said that it could have ruptured. It could have caused further problems, and I would have had to remove the spleen, and it would have definitely been a bigger problem. So please, don't wait until you're feeling worse. If you know that there's something wrong, then just look and deal with it. Like, I would have literally just been taking tablets consistently with the cyst growing over time, which is just crazy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.